My dear students, take a deep breath and relax. I want you to forget everything you think you know about learning English for just a moment. Forget the grammar books, forget the vocabulary lists, forget the exams, forget the red pens and the corrections. Just for the next few minutes, I want you to simply listen to my voice. That is all. Just listen. Today, we are going to talk about something that might sound impossible to you, but I promise you, it is the most natural way to learn any language. The title of our practice session today is No Grammar, Just Listen. Speak English fluently in just 7 days. Now, I know what many of you are thinking. You are thinking, teacher, that is crazy. How can I speak fluently in 7 days? I have been studying English for years and I still cannot speak. And I understand that frustration. I see it in your eyes every single day. You have spent so much time memorizing rules, but when the moment comes to speak, your mind goes blank. The words are there somewhere, but they are trapped behind a wall of fear and overthinking. Let me tell you a secret. A baby does not learn to speak by studying grammar. A baby does not learn to speak by memorizing vocabulary lists. A baby learns to speak by listening. For the first 2 years of life, a baby simply listens. They listen to the sounds, the rhythms, the intonations, the melodies of the language around them. And then, one day, they start to speak. They make mistakes, yes. They say things incorrectly, but they do not care. They just keep listening and they keep trying. And before you know it, that baby is speaking fluently. They are not thinking about past tense or future tense. They are not thinking about subject-verb agreement. They are just speaking. They are communicating. And that is what we need to do with English. We need to become like babies again. We need to stop analyzing and start absorbing. Now, I am not telling you that grammar is useless. Grammar is important, of course it is. But for the purpose of speaking fluently, grammar is not your first priority. Your first priority is to train your ear. You see, the problem with traditional learning is that you have been taught to translate in your head. You hear an English word, you translate it to your native language. You want to speak, you think of a sentence in your native language, you translate it to English, you check the grammar, and then finally you speak. This process takes too long. By the time you are finished, the conversation has already moved on. And even worse, you are so worried about making a mistake that you freeze. You become paralyzed by the fear of being wrong. So, what is the solution? The solution is to bypass the translation process completely. You need to connect English words directly to meanings, directly to feelings, directly to images in your mind. And you do this through listening. So, when I say no grammar, just listen. What do I mean? I mean that for the next 7 days, you are going to change your entire approach. You are going to spend at least 1 hour every day just listening to English. And I do not mean passive listening, where you put on some English music in the background while you are doing other things. I mean active listening, focused listening, deep listening. You are going to listen to English podcasts. You are going to listen to English audiobooks. You are going to listen to English conversations. You are going to listen to English movies and TV shows. But here is the key. You are not going to try to understand every single word. You are not going to stop and look up every word in the dictionary. You are simply going to let the sounds wash over you. You are going to focus on the rhythm, the flow, the melody of the language. You are going to listen to how the words are connected together, how the sounds change, how the intonation rises and falls. You are going to focus on the music of English. I want you to think of English as a song, not as a math equation. When you listen to a song, you do not analyze the grammar of the lyrics. You feel the music, you feel the rhythm, you feel the emotion, and you can even sing along without understanding every word. That is what we are going to do with English. We are going to sing along with the language. We are going to mimic the sounds. We are going to copy the intonation. We are going to shadow the speaker. This is called shadowing, and it is one of the most powerful techniques for learning to speak fluently. What you do is you listen to a short audio clip, maybe 30 seconds long. You listen to it several times. And then you play it again and you try to speak at the same time as the speaker. You try to copy their exact rhythm, their exact pronunciation, their exact intonation. You become their shadow. You might not understand every word, and that is okay. The goal is not understanding. The goal is training your mouth and your ear to work together. The goal is to make the sounds of English feel natural in your mouth. Many of you are worried that you will sound silly. You are worried that people will laugh at you if you make a mistake. Let me tell you something. The people who laugh at you are not the people who matter. The people who matter are the ones who are trying to communicate with you. And communication is not about perfection. Communication is about connection. When a baby says mama for the first time, they do not say it perfectly. They do not articulate every syllable with perfect clarity. But the mother understands, the mother connects, and that is all that matters. So, I want you to let go of your fear of sounding silly. I want you to let go of your fear of making mistakes. I want you to open your mouth and just speak. Even if it is wrong, even if it is broken, even if it is just one word, speak. The more you speak, the more you practice, the more your mouth gets used to the new movements, the new sounds, the new rhythms. Now, let us talk about this 7-day plan. 7 days is not a lot of time, but it is enough time to see a dramatic shift in your confidence and your fluency if you follow these steps. Day 1 is all about listening. On day 1, I want you to find something to listen to. It could be a podcast, it could be a TED Talk, it could be a scene from a movie. Whatever it is, I want you to listen to it 5 times. The first time, just listen to get a general idea. The second time, listen for the rhythm, listen for the stress, listen for the melody. The third time, try to identify some words that you recognize. The fourth time, try to write down a few phrases that you hear. And the 5th time, just relax and let the sounds enter your brain. You do not need to understand everything. You just need to expose your brain to the sounds. Day 2, you are going to add speaking. You are going to take that same audio clip and you are going to listen to it again. But this time, you are going to pause after each sentence and you are going to repeat it. Do not worry if you cannot repeat it perfectly. Do not worry if you stumble over the words. Just try your best. Even if you only get one word out, that is progress. The important thing is that you are using your mouth. The connection between your ear and your mouth is being strengthened. This is called the listen and repeat method, and it is incredibly effective. You are teaching your brain to produce the sounds that you are hearing. Day 3, you are going to move on to shadowing. You are going to play the audio, and you are going to try to speak at the same time as the speaker. Do not pause. Just try to keep up. You will be slower, you will make mistakes, but do not stop. Keep going. Even if you are just mumbling along, keep going. This trains your brain to process English at natural speed. Native speakers speak fast. They do not speak slowly so that you can translate every word in your head. They speak at a natural rhythm, and you need to get used to that rhythm. Shadowing is the best way to do this because it forces you to keep up. It does not give you time to translate. It does not give you time to think about grammar. It just forces you to speak. Day 4. You are going to start using what you have been listening to. You are going to take a few phrases from the audio, and you are going to try to use them in your own sentences. For example, if you heard the phrase, "I want to," you can create your own sentences. I want to go to the park. I want to eat pizza. I want to learn English. This is called active usage. You are taking the language that you have absorbed and you are making it your own. You do not need to use complex sentences. Simple sentences are perfectly fine. The goal is not to impress anyone with your vocabulary. The goal is to communicate clearly. And simple sentences are often the clearest. Day 5. You are going to focus on speaking out loud to yourself. I know this might sound strange, but talking to yourself is a wonderful way to practice. When you are alone, describe what you are doing in English. For example, if you are making breakfast, say to yourself, "I am opening the refrigerator. I am taking out the eggs. I am cracking the eggs into the bowl." You might not know all the words, and that is okay. You can say it in a very simple way. I take eggs. I cook them. The point is that you are forming sentences in English without translating from your native language. You are training your brain to think in English. And the more you do this, the easier it becomes. Day 6. You are going to find a conversation partner. This could be a friend, a family member, a classmate, or even an online language exchange partner. The important thing is that you speak to someone in English. Do not worry about making mistakes, just speak. Start with simple topics like your hobbies, your family, your plans for the weekend. You will be surprised at how much you can say, even with a limited vocabulary. The key is to not stop. If you do not know a word, try to describe it. Instead of saying airplane, you can say a thing that flies in the sky. This is called circumlocution, and it is a very useful skill. It is better to describe something than to stop speaking. Communication is about getting your message across, not about using the perfect word. Day 7. You are going to review everything you have learned. You are going to listen to the same audio that you used on day 1, and you are going to realize how much easier it is to understand. You are going to realize that you can catch phrases that you could not catch before. And then you are going to try to speak about the topic of the audio without reading any notes. You are going to try to express your own opinion about the topic. You might not be perfect, but you will be much, much better than you were a week ago. And more importantly, you will have more confidence. You will have broken through that mental barrier that was holding you back. I want you to understand something very important. This is not a magic trick. This is not a quick fix that will make you fluent in 7 days, in the sense that you will sound like a native speaker. That takes time. But what this method will do in 7 days is change your relationship with English. It will move English from the logical part of your brain to the more instinctual part of your brain. It will make the sounds of English feel more familiar. It will make speaking feel less like a test and more like a natural act. It will give you the confidence to speak without fear. And that is the foundation upon which true fluency is built. Fluency is not about knowing every word. Fluency is about being able to express yourself without hesitation. It is about being able to have a conversation without feeling anxious. It is about being able to connect with people. and that is something that you can achieve through listening. The reason why we put so much emphasis on grammar in traditional education is that it is easy to test. It is easy to grade. But speaking is not a test. Speaking is a skill, and skills are learned through practice, not through theory. You cannot learn to play the piano by reading a book about music theory. You have to sit down and play. And you cannot learn to speak a language by reading a grammar book. You have to open your mouth and speak. You have to listen and repeat and shadow and try and fail and try again. I have had many students over the years who were excellent at grammar. They could pass any test. They could write perfect essays. But when it came to speaking, they froze. They were so worried about making a grammatical error that they could not say anything at all. And then I had other students who were not so good at grammar. They made mistakes all the time. But they spoke with confidence. They communicated. They connected with people, and guess what? The people they spoke to understood them. They did not care about the mistakes. They just cared about the conversation. And over time, these students improved. Their grammar got better because they were using the language. They were learning from their mistakes. They were learning through experience. So, I am asking you to become like those students. I am asking you to let go of perfectionism. I am asking you to let go of the fear of being judged. I am asking you to trust the process. Your brain is an incredible machine. It is designed to learn languages. It is wired to recognize patterns. All you have to do is feed it enough input. You feed it through listening, and it will do the rest. You do not have to force it. You do not have to make it happen. You just have to expose yourself to the language consistently, and the language will start to become a part of you. It will start to feel natural. You will start to think in English without even realizing it. And one day, you will wake up and you will speak without hesitation. Now, I want to give you some practical tips for making this work. First, choose material that is interesting to you. If you are bored by what you are listening to, you will not pay attention. And if you do not pay attention, you will not learn. So, choose something that you enjoy. If you love cooking, listen to a cooking podcast in English. If you love sports, listen to a sports commentary. If you love movies, watch a movie in English. The more interested you are, the more engaged you will be, and the more you will learn. Second, listen at a level that is slightly above your current level. If you understand everything, it is too easy and you will not improve. If you understand nothing, it is too hard and you will get frustrated. You want the sweet spot where you understand maybe 60 to 70%. That way, you are learning new words and phrases while still being able to follow the general meaning. Third, be consistent. I cannot stress this enough. Listening for 10 minutes every day is better than listening for 2 hours on Sunday and then not listening for the rest of the week. Consistency is key. Your brain needs regular exposure to the language. So, set aside a specific time each day for your listening practice and stick to it. It can be in the morning when you wake up, during your commute, or before you go to bed. Make it a habit. Fourth, do not get discouraged. There will be times when you feel like you are not making progress. There will be times when you get frustrated. That is normal. Learning a language is not a linear process. There are ups and downs. But if you keep going, you will break through those plateaus. I promise you. And fifth, enjoy the journey. Language learning is not just about the destination. It is about the connections you make, the cultures you discover, the new perspectives you gain. It is a beautiful and enriching experience. Do not turn it into a chore. Turn it into something that you look forward to. So my dear students, let us begin our 7-day journey together. I am here to guide you, to encourage you, and to remind you that you are capable of so much more than you think. You have already taken the most important step, which is deciding to improve. Now, all you have to do is trust the process and put in the time. Do not think about the grammar. Do not think about the rules. Just listen. Let the sounds of English fill your ears and your mind. Let the rhythm of the language become a part of you. And then, when you are ready, open your mouth and let the words flow out. They will not be perfect, and that is okay. They will be real. They will be yours. And that is what matters. I want to end with a story. A few years ago, I had a student from China. She was a brilliant woman, a doctor. She could read medical journals in English with ease. She could write complex reports, but she could not speak. Every time she tried to speak, she froze. She told me she was terrified of making mistakes. She was terrified of sounding foolish. So, we started this exact program. We started with listening. She listened to podcasts, she watched TV shows, she listened to the news. She did not try to understand everything. She just listened. And then she started shadowing. She would walk around her room, repeating the words out loud, trying to copy the intonation of the speakers. And then she started talking to herself. She described her day, she talked about her patients, she talked about her dreams. And then, after 7 days, she came to class. She was still a little nervous, but she was different. She had a spark in her eyes. She raised her hand and she spoke. Was it perfect? No. Did she make mistakes? Yes, but she was speaking. She was communicating. And the smile on her face was something I will never forget. She told me, "Teacher, I feel like I am free. The words are no longer trapped inside me." And that, my dear students, is what this is all about. It is about freeing the words that are already inside you. They are there. You know more English than you think you do. You just need to let go of the fear and let them out. So, I challenge you to take this 7-day journey with me. I challenge you to put aside your grammar books for just 1 week. I challenge you to just listen and to just speak. You have nothing to lose and so much to gain. You will gain confidence. You will gain a new way of communicating. You will gain the ability to express yourself in a language that connects you to the rest of the world. And who knows what doors that will open for you. Maybe you will travel to a new country. Maybe you will make new friends. Maybe you will advance in your career. The possibilities are endless. But it all starts with one small step. It starts with listening. So let us begin. Take a deep breath, relax your mind, open your ears, and just listen. You already know enough English. This is not a motivational phrase I am saying to make you feel better. This is a fact. I have been teaching for many years and I have seen this truth play out in countless students. They come to me feeling defeated, feeling like they know nothing, feeling like they are starting from zero. And then I give them a simple test. I show them a picture, or I ask them a simple question, or I play a short audio clip. And suddenly, they understand. They understand the main idea. They recognize many of the words. They can even form a basic response in their head. But the moment I ask them to speak that response out loud, their face changes. Their eyes drop. Their shoulders tense up. And they say, "Teacher, I cannot." But they can. They already have the vocabulary inside their minds. They already have the grammatical structures stored somewhere in their memory from years of study. The problem is not a lack of knowledge. The problem is a wall of fear that has been built brick by brick over many years of being corrected, of being graded, of being told that they are wrong. You have spent years accumulating English words. Think about how many vocabulary lists you have memorized. Think about how many grammar exercises you have completed. Think about how many hours you have spent in classrooms. All of that input is in your brain. It is there, it is not lost, it is just locked away. And the key to that lock is not more study. The key is confidence. The key is letting go of the need to be perfect. When you were a child learning your native language, you did not know all the words. You did not know all the grammar rules. But you spoke anyway. You pointed and you made sounds and you made mistakes. And people understood you. They encouraged you. They did not correct every single error because they knew you were learning. You need to give yourself that same permission now. You need to allow yourself to be a learner again. You need to allow yourself to be imperfect. I often ask my students to write down a list of all the English words they know. They are always surprised at how long the list is. They know hundreds, sometimes thousands of words, and then I ask them to write down all the grammar rules they remember. Again, they have a long list. So I ask them, with all of this knowledge, why do you think you cannot speak? And the answer is always the same. They are afraid. They are afraid of making a mistake. They are afraid of sounding foolish. They are afraid of being judged by others. But here is the truth that you need to accept. The people you are speaking to are not judging you the way you think they are. They are not listening for your mistakes. They are listening for your message. They want to understand you. They want to connect with you. And if you make a mistake, they will not think less of you. They will appreciate that you are trying. In fact, most native speakers of English are incredibly patient and encouraging with learners. They know how difficult English is. They know that even they make mistakes sometimes. So, why are you holding yourself to a standard that even native speakers do not meet? Your fear is the only thing blocking you. Not your vocabulary, not your grammar, not your pronunciation. Your fear. And fear is a liar. Fear tells you that you are not ready. Fear tells you that you need to study just a little bit more. Fear tells you that you will embarrass yourself. But fear is not your friend. Fear is the enemy of progress, and the only way to defeat fear is to act in spite of it. You have to open your mouth and speak even when you are scared. You have to make mistakes and realize that the world does not end. You have to stumble and fall and get back up. Every time you speak, even if it is imperfect, you are weakening that wall of fear. And every time you stay silent, you are strengthening it. So, I am telling you, you already know enough. You have enough words. You have enough grammar. You have everything you need to start speaking right now. The only thing missing is your willingness to try. And that willingness is entirely within your control. You do not need to wait for the perfect moment. You do not need to wait until you feel ready. You will never feel ready. Readiness comes from doing, not from waiting. So, stop waiting. Stop doubting. Start speaking. The words are already inside you. Let them out. You have been taught that a sentence must be complex to be impressive. You have been taught that using big words and complicated structures is a sign of intelligence. But let me tell you something that will change the way you approach speaking forever. Simple sentences spoken with confidence beat perfect sentences spoken with hesitation every single time. I have seen it happen again and again in my classroom. 2 students are asked to describe their weekend. One student takes a deep breath, thinks carefully, tries to construct a perfect sentence with multiple clauses and advanced vocabulary. But they hesitate, they pause, they stumble over their words. They take so long to speak that the moment passes and the conversation moves on. The other student does not think so much. They say, "I went to park. I saw my friend, we ate food, it was good." 4 simple sentences, no complex grammar, no advanced vocabulary, but they said it clearly. They said it with confidence. They said it without stopping. And guess who communicated better? The second student. Because communication is not about impressing anyone with your language skills. Communication is about being understood. And simple sentences are easier to understand. They are clearer, they are more direct. They get the message across without any confusion. When you try to use complex sentences, you are taking a risk. You are adding more moving parts. You have to think about the subject, the verb, the object, the tense, the agreement, the prepositions, the conjunctions. There is so much that can go wrong. And when you are speaking in real time, you do not have the luxury of editing and revising. You have to produce the sentence instantly. And if you are trying to produce a complex sentence, your brain has to work much harder. It has to process more information. It has to make more decisions. And that takes time. That causes hesitation. That causes pauses. That causes you to lose your flow. And when you lose your flow, you lose your confidence. You start to doubt yourself. You start to think, "I cannot do this." And then you stop speaking altogether. But when you keep it simple, everything changes. Your brain does not have to work as hard. You can produce the sentence quickly. You can produce it smoothly. You can produce it with confidence. And when you speak with confidence, people listen. When you speak with confidence, people understand you. When you speak with confidence, you feel good about yourself. And that feeling of success motivates you to speak more. It creates a positive cycle. The more you speak, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the more you speak. Now, I want you to think about the native speakers you admire. Listen to how they speak in everyday conversations. You will be surprised at how simple their sentences are. They do not speak like textbooks. They do not speak like news anchors. They speak naturally. They use short sentences. They use simple words. They use contractions. They use fillers like and you know and like. They make grammatical errors too. They say things like me and my friend instead of my friend and I. They say I could of instead of I could have. They break all the rules you have been taught to follow. And yet no one cares. No one judges them. Because everyone understands what they are trying to say. The goal of language is not perfection. The goal of language is connection. And simple sentences connect people more effectively than perfect sentences that are spoken with fear and hesitation. I have had students who were terrified of speaking because they thought their English was too basic. They would apologize before they even opened their mouths. They would say, "Teacher, my English is very bad." And I would tell them, "Your English is not bad. Your English is simple, and simple is beautiful, because simple English is clear English. It is honest English. It is English that comes from the heart, not from a textbook. When you speak simply, you are not hiding behind fancy words. You are being yourself. You are being authentic. And authenticity is something that people respond to. They trust you more. They understand you more. They connect with you more. So, stop trying to impress people with your vocabulary. Stop trying to prove that you are smart. Just speak. Speak simply. Speak clearly, speak with confidence, and watch how much easier it becomes. Watch how much more people understand you. Watch how much better you feel about yourself. Because the truth is, a simple sentence spoken with a smile is worth 1,000 perfect sentences spoken with fear. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to be understood. And simple sentences will get you there faster than anything else.